And you should even have it with a lamb chop. What do you think, Ray Summers from Neighbourhood Watch at 9:30 in Monday Breakfast? Good morning, welcome back.
Good morning, Peter. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Well, we'll have to have it with a lamb chop. Have you seen the prices of beef, of cattle, at record high? So we won't be able to afford any steaks. It will have to be a lamb chop.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you, Peter, and the staff at
Thank you.
3WBC, and most importantly to all your listeners.
Thank you.
I trust most of them have returned or coming back from their holidays. Watched a bit of cricket last night. I was pretty excited having won the test.
Yes.
But, I didn't like last night.
Fell over a bit, didn't it?
They've got some work to do.
My word, they have.
And over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had cricket every night.
Yeah. Turn on the television, there's cricket.
Cricket.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. So I hope the people who dislike football are enjoying the cricket, because football's coming.
And if they don't, of course, there's going to be plenty of tennis over the next couple of weeks.
It starts today, tennis, and they'll play that all day and all night.
All night. That's
yes.
right.
And if it's a late match, it'll be about 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Anyway, while all that's happening, the police have been busy in Whitehorse. And we might have read about it in the local paper. They started back on Saturday the 17th of December, and they had this Operation Roadwise, and it went through to Saturday the 8th of January. That doesn't mean to say they've stopped. It still continues. But what was interesting, the Highway Patrol flooded Whitehorse during this period. Did you notice the booze buses around?
I didn't, I must admit.
In my street, down where they cross over the creek, there is an island in the middle, but it's only painted on the road, and it's under the shade of a couple of trees. And I think in one day they were there 3 times. They're there for an hour,
Yes.
then go off
Move on.
elsewhere. I spoke to him. He said, no, we go off elsewhere.
Right.
We've got half a dozen spots, and we just go round and round. So you think when we've moved out, we won't be back.
Right.
But he said, no. And I said, well, how's it going? And he said, it's good. The number of bookings is medium, but we think it's getting the message out. People don't know where they're going to run into a booze bus.
No, that's a good thing.
So in my street, but I noticed as the day went on, they moved further up this centre component, following the shade of the trees.
Well, that makes sense. You can't blame them for that.
No. But I read about a Mitcham man. Now think about this when you're coming to work early, Peter. He was caught drink driving on his way to work with a blood alcohol level 5 times over the limit. This is coming to work. The man was 62 and was stopped in Irvine Street at about 1:40 p.m. So he must have been a radio announcer on community radio. How would you think about the boss?
Yes, that's right. Of course, what a lot of people forget is that if you've had a skinful the day or the night before,
Yes.
it can still carry
it's
over.
still
And
with you.
You will get nabbed. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, he returned a test of 0.286. His licence was suspended for 12 months, and he's expected to be charged on summons for drink driving offences. I never really come to grips with reading 0.286, but when they say 5 times over the limit, I understand that.
Wow, that was no residual from a skinful the night before. I reckon he'd probably topped up in the morning. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
So look what we're missing out on. What a dull life we live.
Oh, yeah, but at least we're alive, and there's a
Yes,
good prospect of that for the future, right?
But I'll tell you what, though, if he's lost his licence, and I'll assume his car will disappear, think of the money he'll save in petrol.
There's always a plus. That's possible.
But he'll lose weight if he's got to walk to all these places
Yes,
that he should have
indeed.
driven before. Anyway, I read briefly about the RACV commenting about the hot weather, that we've had some days, we've got another one tomorrow, and so on. On average, they rescue 4 children a day locked in cars.
I find that incredible. Incredibly bad, but incredible nonetheless.
Well, prior to Christmas or between Christmas and New Year, I went over to Repco in South Box Hill, down past Bunnings.
Yes.
and there was a big Mercedes station wagon, and the bloke went into the shop and the two kids are in the car. And it was a hot, stinking day.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Now, I'll give him a whisker of credit. The car was running. But that's 3 more offences.
Yes.
Locking kids in cars is over $3,000.
Is that right?
Yeah. Leaving the keys in the cars, another 250.
Yes.
Just endless. So I suppose you reckon he was doing a good turn. Leave him in the air conditioning.
Didn't think that through very well.
No. Anyway, and like I mentioned to you the other day, I went up to Northeast for 2 or 3 days, came back yesterday, and on the whole road, up and back, what's that, 700 Ks, I only saw 1 police car.
Is that right?
And I will say, in general, everybody travelled pretty well. There were no madmen. But I think I sit on the speed limit all the time, and I would reckon 50 to 60% of the vehicles passed me.
Went past you.
So they're all doing another extra 5 or 10
At least.
kilometres an
That's
hour.
right.
Yeah. I read in the local paper, and I certainly have heard about this, in the Leader newspaper late December there was an interview reported from an interview with Inspector Robert May, the commander of Whitehorse. Theft remains the undisputed number 1 crime in Whitehorse. That's theft from motor vehicles, theft from theft of motor vehicles and theft from motor vehicles, and also theft from commercial premises and residential homes. The rate of offences in Whitehorse per 1,000 dropped from 5,062 to 4,574 for the period for the year 2016.
It's moving in the right direction.
It
at least,
is.
Ray, isn't it?
But nevertheless, theft remains the undisputed number 1 crime in Whitehorse. Clearly, the local police proactive program, working with Neighbourhood Watch, Whitehorse Council, and the Asian Business Association, who I think their big efforts are in the Box Hill Shopping Centre.
Excellent.
They have a day a month there with the police,
Right.
organised by the Asian Business Association, has worked well, and I agree. Not sure how we get it much lower than 4,500, but we can keep going. Local state MP Robert Clark described our local police as doing a great job, and I totally agree with him.
They are indeed.
Yes.
And so I should also say our Neighbourhood Watch, because
Well,
you're
true,
spreading
but
the word.
But they're well, I think they work well, the police.
You work
You know,
well,
and
yeah.
they haven't got an abundance of staff.
No,
No,
sadly.
they're pretty thin at times. What I will mention, I'm sure if you live in these areas, you know exactly what I mean. Both Blackburn Road and Heatherdale Road rail crossings will be closed till Monday the 6th of Feb.
Yes.
So to get from north to south, allow an extra 10 to 20 minutes in travel time. So if you want to cross over at Blackburn, you either come down to Laburnum Street or you go up to Springvale Road.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So allow for that.
Yes.
Indeed.
And if travelling to the city, allow an extra 40 minutes for catching buses from Ringwood to Box Hill and back home again. And there's more detail about this on levelcrossings.vic.gov.au. And I think 3 or 4 days after Christmas, we had that massive downpour through here.
Oh, we did
We got
indeed.
about 50 plus millimetres of rain. Well, there was some flash flooding in South Parade near the corner of Main Street. That's where all the water finished up. And I suppose it flooded the subway again under the station. But anyway, the SES were busy. And I know in South Parade and Laburnum Street, water came into some of the shops, just sneaked in the
Oh,
doorways.
that's a nuisance.
And this was
Makes
created
such a
by
mess.
lots of the barriers, etc., put up by the people working on the railway line.
Okay.
I don't suppose they expected
No, as they wouldn't.
a downpour of that extent. But anyway, they removed lots of barriers and the water got away down the drains, etc. They had about 90 requests for help in that December period, 29-30, and several of them required pumps to get the water out of the areas. Didn't happen in our place, but nevertheless, you can see all the dirty the flood line
Such a mess.
that goes up around everywhere.
The fine silt that's left behind. Yeah.
Yes. I noticed in Central Road between the Seventh-day Adventist church and office, they have this beautiful man-made culvert valley, always mowed, but after the flood you could see where all the rubbish got left on the lawns. It's a real masterpiece what's there.
Yes, difficult to clean up, isn't it?
It is, and it looks so, because of where it is, it gets all the drainage. It is always moist, it's always green. No matter how dry things are, it's always green up this quite large valley that they've just allowed to be a water channel, and that goes well. Our planning for 2017. Well, Neighbourhood Watch is awake. We're up and moving. Our crime prevention field activities and safe plate days have been finalised. Crime prevention field activities will be up and running in March. And what I would like to tell people is we have a general Neighbourhood Watch meetings are held at the Forest Hill Police Station 6 times a year. And if you would like to attend, please contact Neighbourhood Watch Whitehorse by email. That is whitehorse@nhw.com.au, or phone 0418 596 and we need to get a clearance pass for you to go into the police station and check that they got the right handcuffs for you and so on and so on.
I like the fluffy ones myself.
You like the ones that are soft. But anyway, that's about it. But certainly Neighbourhood Watch will be running hot. Certainly in February, your newsletters will be out. Our e-news, and our newsletters to houses in Whitehorse. I think the first editions are out at the end of this month.
Always a good publication. I enjoy
So
seeing
some
it.
people had some time off, and e-news, I think. Look, I'm not certain whether it's the middle of this month or late, whatever. Other important numbers for people around here. Box Hill Police Station, 88923200, and Forest Hill Police Station, 88473600, and Crime Stoppers, don't forget them, 1800 333 000. And I think we're nearly out of time, Peter, and I think I've worked this out. I've looked up the wrong calendar a few times and got the wrong dates, but I see you again on Monday the 20th of Feb.
I'm looking forward to it already.
Does that sound right?
Sounds about right to me.
All right, I'll do my best to make it right. Get my notes in, etc.
Terrific.
Peter, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ray. Always good to see you, and I'll look forward to catching up with you next month.
Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, mate. 17 minutes to 10 o'clock. This is Monday Breakfast with Peter Cassidy on 94.1, your FM, 3WBC, informing and entertaining Melbourne's Inner East. This is Chicago, If You Leave Me Now.